trigger warning, okay? I'm making this video for documentary journalistic purposes, okay? This is a story in the public interest. It's a public story, and I just need to give you guys a warning, okay? I don't intend to disrespect or put down or belittle any of the situations that I'll be covering in this video. It's a very serious topic. It's very important that I warn you that we're going to be talking about very triggering themes like SA, an underage girl seemingly being groomed, and very nefarious activities. So, if that's not for you, if that's something that's going to be triggering for you, don't watch the rest of this. But essentially, this post is going around that Celeste's brother speaks up and reveals that David did kill his sister. Whole chat attached. And they're saying that this is her brother. All right, this is a screenshot of something that I touched on in the last video. Celeste's brother speaks up and reveals that David did kill his sister. Okay. And this is a chat. Somebody says, dude, why does David follow you? All respect to your sister, and I hate how shitty people are being. Was it really him, Jesus, all love, man? He replied, yes, it was him, because he found my account out of nowhere and followed me. This dude says, fuck. Well, he has it coming. That's wild to just randomly. Did you ever even talk to him? I met him once in person. She says, something, being with him, like, was she living with him? All of this shit's so confusing and disgusting. And he replies, I knew and I went to the police about it, but they said lack of evidence, so it was waved off. They responded, bullshit. Now that there's 1,000 people backing you up, that won't happen again. But if they had listened, he says, even if they don't do anything, they haven't even done anything towards him. And they reply, that's how it is with celebrities. Just look at fucking Diddy. They don't do shit. He says, I know it effing sucks. Effing crazy that people suffer for it. How long has she been gone? And he replied, dead. And he says 2 weeks. Now, this might have been a big reveal. I don't know if this is necessarily accurate. There's been a lot of speculation over how long the body had been left in that trunk. Trigger warning, but the body had been cut up, wrapped in plastic, and it had been severely decomposed. That's what the police said. Now, he's saying 2 weeks. That could be information that's been revealed to the family privately to say that the body was decomposed and she would have passed away 2 weeks ago, or maybe he knows, maybe she stopped replying 2 weeks ago. Maybe they last heard from her 2 weeks ago. Maybe that's an indication of she was active until 2 weeks ago, but we don't know for sure. So the person replies, says, damn, that soon? People have been saying like a month. The dude's a weirdo. His songs all have weird messages and imagery. He says, what do you think happened? Like he didn't just want her to expose him being with her? The brother replies, I don't know. He says, damn, was your sister like in love with him and choosing to stay? I'm guessing that it was all just him manipulating her. He said, yeah, she was always saying that he was waiting till she was 18 to get married and stuff like that. He replied, effing sick. What's crazy about all those people in his circle who knew and say stuff? I saw one guy did get sued by something pushing. He said, dog, what? I never knew that. My sister wouldn't say anything, ever. He says, dude, there's so much stuff in the Discord that he has. He says, what the F? There's a Discord? And he says, yeah, it was just his fan Discord and stuff. I wasn't in it, obviously, but from what I know, he was decently active in it. And some screenshots and screen recordings were posted today and yesterday after the news showed one guy saying this. And basically, this is the post from the Discord. Somebody commented, drop the song about the missing girl, Celeste Rivas. This was all the way back in August 2024. And he says, what the F? No way, dude. Please send me more if you know. He says, I got you, bro. Let me find everything that's been posted for you. That's why I said so many people were after David now after this. They have found so much evidence to back this stuff up. The brother replies, dude, I never knew this stuff. And then this random guy says, only a small number of people were aware until today. The brother replied, I wish I could have known. I could have used this. And the dude replies, you don't have your sister added on Discord, right? The bro replies, I don't even have Discord. And then this dude says, yeah, I was just seeing because someone had a screenshot of her account, supposedly. And then this guy replies, he said, this is what I got. He sends all the Discord screenshots, bunch of lyrics, other posts, other comments, sends it all to the brother. He said, are those photos something? I don't know if that says those photos real or those photos in here. And that song was an unreleased David song. And he's posting all of this stuff. Here's the video proving those messages are real. And he replies, are those photos of her? He says, yes. Do you know of any of your sister's Instagram accounts? There were some messages people said was her messaging friends, but not really confirmed yet. And then he sends these screenshots, which, look, these are screenshots from a leaked conversation with Celeste and a friend where she appears to admit to having relations with David, all right? And then the brother sends a bunch of pictures of Celeste saying, that's my sister, dog. That's the same girl. And he says, if it is. And he says, you think this is real? And now this is where it gets crazy and we start talking about another victim. Yes, do you think this is real? These are the chat logs, okay? And look, I don't know if it's safe to show you this in this video. I didn't show it to you in the last video, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and I'm gonna show you these messages, okay? Trigger warning. These are very dark, but I'm just gonna read these to you and I'm gonna try and redact anything super messed up, okay? But this is allegedly a set of messages between Celeste and a friend. The friend says, I'm just gonna check up on you. Celeste says, I don't want to talk to anyone. The friend says, that's it. And she says, okay, yes, of course. And the friend says, but you have to swear you're going to stay safe. Are you still going to talk to David or go back with him? Because I don't want to get you into any more trouble with him. Celeste replies, I'm safe. No, I'm not. The friend says, okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. Don't delete Insta. Celeste replies, love you too, and won't. And now the next set of messages, trigger warning, these do appear to... I don't even want to show this. Yeah, look, can I show this? Like, can I even talk about this? I'm not going to add any extra context. I'm just going to very quickly breeze through this, okay? The friend says, I made it. And they say it can bleed and not bleed during stuff because you probably did it when you were younger. I didn't because I wasn't ready. Someone says, you said you bead? And he says, what? And she says, Celeste says, I thought I did, but I just got my pee. I only bead with David. The person says, And then this guy says, Celeste says, with Gus, I was just drunk and did it because he got mad at me the first time for not having S with him. So that chat appears to reveal that the girl Celeste may have had relations with another person by the name of Gus, right? And then that's where we come back to this comment. Okay, so those screenshots that I just breezed through are here, and they were sent to this person who's allegedly Celeste's brother. And they say, do you think this is real? And the alleged brother replies, yes, I do. I know who Gus is. He's dead. And the person asks, what happened? And they say, he got shot up, dead. And then the comment says, you think by David or just some other stuff? Now, I think I saw an extended version of this where he seemed to reply that it was some other stuff. Yeah, so here's the last part of that message is, he said, you think it was a shot by David or just some other stuff? And the guy just very ominously says, other stuff. And then that's the end of the conversation. They say, okay, now look, I'm not going to lie to you. This is all sounding a bit too suspicious. You're telling me that this Gus guy, this other guy, you've got a love triangle. These two guys are fighting over this young ting, this underage person, all right? And this guy Gus is apparently getting his thing on. They're having some kind of argument. Someone was mad because she said he was mad because I didn't want to have a with him. Twisted. Absolutely twisted, okay? So it sounds like this Gus guy is dead, all right? And we're waiting for more information to come out about this Gus guy. I don't know who this Gus guy is. I don't know what this is all about. But in the midst of that, we're beginning to see more and more little tidbits of evidence come out that are just even more and more damning. So another post has been going around on the David subreddit saying David was wearing her bracelets. That's a picture of him with some bracelets on, and people are saying it's the same bracelets that Celeste had on in this picture. Now, I'm finding it hard to see that, but it kind of does look like the pink, the little pink joint that's going on here. I don't know if it's exactly the same one, but it does look very similar. The kind of hues look a bit similar.